My name is Tobias Schmidt. I joined SoundCloud as a Ruby developer a bit more than a year ago. And yeah, I want to talk about two things I came across with during this time. So the first thing is know your usage patterns. You hopefully all log your slow queries in MySQL, if you use MySQL. And this is probably not enough as it turned out for us, as you only log these queries which are really slow, but not all of it. So we started to write a script which logs everything which goes to a database for a short amount of time. And we have seen this after we created an Percona toolkit query digest. So the interesting part is the first line, where you see our database spent 40% of the time for admin statistics. So you might wonder, as myself, what is admin statistics? And it turned out it's part of the internal MySQL protocol. And yeah, we turned some string which gives you some statistics about uptime, slow queries, average queries per second, and so on. So I wondered, okay, why do we send this query or this request that often? So I looked into Active Record code. I have to say that this is for Active Record 2.3. It's very similar to Active Record 3.x. And you can see in the first line connection of stats, so it's exactly the query we have seen. So when do we call active? So active gets called if you, it's a verify method, it's the only point when you call it. And it turns out verify gets called every time you check out the connection from the connection pool. I thought, okay, this only happens if you have a thread or a big thread pool and check out connections all the time. But it turned out that the action controller dispatcher clears all memorized connections from Active Record. So every request for your Rails application which needs the connection will call verify for every request. That means if you have a lot of requests in your application, then for every request, one admin statistics query gets sent and makes your MySQL database very busy. So I've seen in a blog post about 70%, even 70% of the database was only spent with admin statistics. So how did we solve this? Yeah, very easy. We just said optimistically, our connection is always active. There is one drawback, of course, what happens if your connection really gets away, because yeah, your MySQL server dies or something. So we rescue these exceptions and in the execute method, and then reconnect in these cases. So up until this point, I haven't seen a single exception in our production environment, and yeah, we freed up 30% of the capacity of our server. This was the first thing. The second thing is know your tools. How do you migrate your database? Probably either you have very small tables and it's freaking fast, or you announce some scheduled maintenance. Both of these things are not really doable for us. So we wrote the Large Hadron Migrator, named after the Large Hadron Collider, as both of these things might create black holes in the universe and blow up everything. Hopefully this will never be true. So what is the LHM, or Large Hadron Migrator? It's an online schema change tool, so you can change and migrate all your database like you usually do it. And the interesting thing is it comes with almost no downtime. In comparison to other similar tools by Twitter and Facebook, it's also replication safe, which was very interesting and yeah, important for us. So how does it work? Suppose you have a users table and you want to migrate it, like adding a new column to it. First, we create a new temporary table in the same schema than the users table, but it's empty. Then we do the migration on this empty table. This is now in the new state. And we create triggers, which means every row which gets inserted, updated, or deleted on the old table, so the users table, also gets updated, inserted, and deleted on the new table. And we start copying all rows over from the users table to the LHM table, which is only necessary until the point we created the triggers, because everything after the triggers is already in the new tables. So if this is done, the only critical part comes, so renaming these both tables. Therefore, we need to lock both tables, and this is the only point when some downtime can happen. The longest downtime I have seen, or the longest locking time I have seen in our application so far, has been about 7 seconds. Usually it's done in some 100 milliseconds, so you can really migrate your tables without any downtime. Check it out at SoundCloud/LHM, or Large Hadron Migrator. It's also in the slides. So these were the two things I want to talk about. Know your usage patterns, know your tools. Thank you very much, and we are hiring.
Thank you. Nice guy. Thank you.